Hi Lauren, welcome to this online webinar. If you can hear me, maybe you could just write in the window there that you can hear okay. Excuse me. Great. Okay. Well, it's only you and me for this webinar today, Lauren, so we can make a start if that's okay. Okay. Now, because it's only you and me, I don't know whether you actually have a microphone or not, but because there's only two of us, we could actually, if you wanted to have a microphone, you could ask questions, or if you're happy just to have the chat facility, that's okay as well. Okay, that's fine. So as I just give you an overview of the software, if you have any questions, just put a question there in the chat window, and I'll look over and make sure I answer it okay. And just let me know if the sound is a problem. I don't think it's okay. And so we might just make a start. So text. This is a photo of me. This is who I am. So excuse me. So if you don't know, I'm the Education Services Manager here at Spectronics, and I'm a teacher. And this afternoon we're going to have a look at co-writer, and it should just take about 35 or 40 minutes just to have a run through of the program. And I don't know whether have you used co-writer before or seen it before. It's a word prediction program that is probably rated as one of the better, it's probably the best word prediction program, and it's an intelligent word prediction program that with the new version for Windows, it actually sits on top of other applications and works in those other applications on your computer screen. And what it does, it actually, as you type in, it helps to interpret your spelling and your grammar mistakes and offers you suggestions in real time. So as you're typing, it's actually giving you suggestions. It's the kind of program that is used for students who have difficulty with handwriting, and they need to use a keyboard, but they actually have difficulty in forming a sentence in the writing process, or for some students who are poor phonetic spellers, or what we term inventive spellers. It's also a program that will be used for students who typing is difficult, so someone with a physical disability who actually finds the actual process of typing difficult. So what co-writer will do as a word prediction program, it will reduce the number of keystrokes that you need to do to make a sentence. So a sentence might take, say, 30, 35 keystrokes, typing individual letters and so on. With word prediction, you might be able to reduce it down to only 5 keystrokes. So it minimises the number of the amount of typing that needs to be doing, and it also helps for people who actually just need to translate their thoughts into writing, because what it does, as you begin to translate your thoughts into writing and you start to type in, co-writer helps you with not only your spelling and your grammar, but also, we'll see later, you can actually embed into it vocabulary, so you can actually provide students with the kind of vocab that they might need to actually do a writing task. The thing about co-writer is that the new version, version 6, is that you really can come to grips with the program in 30 minutes. There's a lovely little training manual that's called Train in 30 Minutes, and so you, as a teacher or as a student using it, you can quickly be up and going within minutes, really, of using the program. It's part of the Solo suite of software, and that includes Read Out Loud, which is a text reader, Draft Builder, which is a graphic organizer, a bit like a program called Inspiration. It's a mind mapping tool. Write Out Loud, which is a talking word presser, and co-writer. And think of it in the way of, say, Microsoft Office, in terms of Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and so on. All those components can be used individually, but they also integrate with each other. So co-writer can actually be used by itself without ever using other parts of the Solo suite, but it also integrates with those other three parts of the Solo suite. So it's part of a bigger package, but a lot of people just use the co-writer word prediction facility, for instance. So let's have a look. Let's go through the program and give you a bit of a tour of the features of Co-Writer. So I'm just going to go from my PowerPoint. We'll just minimize my PowerPoint. And I'll open up a Word document. And we'll actually start with just the process of writing using Co-Writer. So I've got a Word document open, and I've got a sentence there that I actually want to write. That's a sentence I wish to write. I like to imagine that I can really express what's on my mind. So using Co-Writer, I go to my Start menu, find Co-Writer, it starts up, and when I start up Co-Writer, my cursor's there, and with my cursor there is the Co-Writer window. And as I start to type a sentence, I type in the letter I, it starts to predict the word that I'm typing. And if I run my cursor over the list of words that are provided in the word prediction window, they'll be read back to me.
I is isn't in I'm.
And so I can find the word that I'm looking for. In this case, it's I. It immediately goes to leaves a space, and then actually finds the next word. And the next word is often what it's looking for is the one that grammatically fits. So I'm going to write I like, and as I write L, it then provides me a list of words that it thinks that I'm looking for, the next word in my sentence. Now I've written this sentence a couple of times just recently, so what's going to happen, because it's an intelligent word prediction program, it remembers how I type. And if I type certain sentences quite regularly, what it will do, it will predict that sentence, and the word that it's predicting will go, that it thinks should be next, will go to the top of the list. So in this case, it's the word like. I can check it by just scrolling my mouse icon over it.
Like.
That's the one I want.
Like.
And then it's left a space, ready for the next word. And you can see that it's actually already gone to to, the word to. It's actually predict, and that's probably the word I want to use, but it could be one of these other words as well.
It. The. You.
I'll choose to. Now I start to choose the next word, and I'll type in I, and immediately imagines coming up to the top of my list, because obviously I've been writing this sentence a few times, and so it's actually providing me with that word that it thinks it's going to grammatically fit in. If the word that I'm looking for is not on that list that I've got on my word prediction window there are more words I can be looking for, and you'll notice there's an arrow here on my window, a right arrow. If I click on that, I can actually get more guesses by clicking there on that drop-down list, or actually just choosing my right arrow. So I'll choose my right arrow, and as you see, it then scrolls through more words that start with I that it thinks it might fit in. So there's a whole lot of other words behind that list that I can look for. But it's actually imagine that I'm looking for.
Imagine.
So I type it in, and I'll just finish this sentence. Type in T, H, A, and T.
That.
I can. Really, and then really has come up the third one on my list.
Really?
Express. Now look, express is there straight away.
Express.
Type in W, H, A. This one might take a bit more to get up on my list. Now it's taken 3. I have to type in 3 letters to get the word that I'm looking for, but next time it will be a much shorter process. On my, and type in mind. Now, as soon as I've finished my sentence, what I'll do now is actually put in a full stop or a period, and it will actually finish the sentence and have the sentence read back to me. So I press full stop.
I like to imagine that I can really express what's on my mind.
And then the new sentence, and away I go. So that's very simply the use of the word prediction program. another thing that it actually supports, as you saw, as I was actually spelling okay. I was actually pretty well knew what I was spelling and saying the words off correctly. But it actually does support those students who actually who are inventive spellers, who are phonetic spellers. So if I go down to my page and go to another sentence, and here I want to type in this sentence, and you see I'm actually have a couple of words I've misspelt there in that sentence. And if I do a right-hand click on those using Microsoft Word, you'll see that LAFENT, Microsoft Word, comes up with latent or lament, and GERF, Microsoft Word, comes up with a number of other words, but it doesn't really support my inventive spelling. Using a program like Co-Writer, I'll type it in, and actually, I don't know if you've guessed, but the words that I want to type in are elephant and giraffe. That's my inventive spelling. So I'll type this sentence. I watched, and there it is down there on my list.
Watched.
And now I'll start typing in. This is my inventive spelling. LAFENT. And I've typed in that, that's how I think it's spelled, and you can see on my list elephant has come up on my list, and if I choose that, it will then change that for me.
Elephant.
And the more I type in that inventive spelling attempt at elephant, the more it will recognize elephant that I'm actually attempting to write. And I'll do and the next word I want to write is giraffe, and I spell it J-E-R-F. And as you can see, giraffes there on my list. So it's supporting my inventive spelling.
Giraffe.
And I'll just finish that sentence. Roller skate.
Roller skate.
Down.
Down.
The TH.
The.
Street. There's street on my list.
Street. I watched an elephant and giraffe roller skate down the street.
And that's my sentence. The one thing I can do is I can then review my sentence as well. If I actually want to go back and actually with Co-Writer just read that sentence back, and I actually need some text-to-speech support, I can actually highlight the sentence I've just typed. On my word prediction window, choose the right arrow. And here on my very first item on my drop-down list, I choose speak, and I can have that sentence read back to me.
I watched an elephant and giraffe roller skate down the street.
So I can use it to actually, for proofreading, to go back to actually look at what I've read. I've just got a question. You got your question? What would happen the first time? Well, the first time you use the program, yeah. So the first time it's going to use its default vocab, and so it'll come up what it thinks that you should be typing, but very quickly, within a couple of sentences, it's going to actually start to kind of remember the way that you're typing. But in a moment, I can show you actually how you can add vocab in advance, so you can actually make sure that the students have been going with the vocab they need. But we'll just get to that. If I'm writing that sentence and I actually wish to actually put something, go back and edit that sentence with Co-Writer, and perhaps I wanted to actually put, I watched the elephant and giraffe roller skate down the busy street, I can put my cursor at the beginning of street, start to type in busy, B, U, and then I've got busy come up on my list.
Beautiful.
Not beautiful.
Busy.
Busy. Choose it.
Busy.
It automatically puts the new word in the sentence and then puts a space between it and the next word. So I can go in and edit sentences using Co-Writer. So let's have a look at that question that you had about the first time you used the program. You know, how long does it take for it to start to remember how you type, which is not very, it's very quickly. But even then, even the first time you type it, it'll be only a few keystrokes, and eventually you can get to the word. Or if you use your right arrow, you can be scrolling through different words. So you can see I'm scrolling through, so you can find the word that you're looking for. But sometimes, if I scroll down on another part of my document here, sometimes you actually might want to put your own vocab in, or actually have a topic dictionary about a particular topic area. And now what I'm going to do is show you, if I was writing about Albert Einstein as an example, I'm going to show you how you can go into the program to actually look at how you can modify and adjust the program. So at the bottom of my word prediction window, down here there's a preference button. When I choose the preference button, I now have the ability to get inside the program and start to make some changes and defaults and options that become available to me. And the first thing I can do is I can actually add topics, topic dictionaries. So CoWriter actually comes with 200 topic dictionaries that are already there, ready for you to use. And you can also create your own topic dictionaries. If I was wanting to actually write about Albert Einstein, I've already got a topic dictionary on Albert Einstein. I can choose that topic dictionary, hit my Save Changes and Return to Writing button, which is the same as my preference button. So when I come back and save my changes, this time, as I'm actually typing AL, you can see that because I've actually put the topic dictionary about Albert Einstein, I've activated that topic dictionary. Albert Einstein is there ready for me to be used.
Albert Einstein.
Thought.
Thought.
About.
About.
And because I'm writing it, because I've got Albert Einstein topic dictionary activated, by writing in the word GRAV, the word gravity comes up because that's part of the topic dictionary that's actually already there for the topic of Albert Einstein.
Gravity.
In space.
Space. Albert Einstein thought about gravity in space.
Sometimes if to support that writing as well as having the topic dictionary open to support my writing to give me additional vocab, if I go back to my preferences button, and this time as well as having the topic dictionary for Albert Einstein chosen, if I go to the next tab along, which is the word bank tab, here I can actually see what are the actual words in that topic dictionary. And I can actually look at the words that are actually available that actually have been put in. I can scroll down. Now I can actually have it so that if the student using CoWriter, they can actually, for that word bank that they're using in that topic dictionary, they can have all the words available, or they can just have the nouns available, or just the verbs, or just the adjectives. And I can also make as many or as few words available just by simply scrolling this scroll bar across. The other really nice thing about it too is that I can actually add an additional scaffold, and I can actually have that topic dictionary available as a word bank on their screen as they're typing. If I go down to display and choose cloud and then have show while writing and then press my preferences button, now I've got my cursor available, but I've also got available on the screen, and I can change the way that looks. I've actually got the topic dictionary, the words of that topic dictionary in a word bank available on the screen as well. So I've got additional scaffolds for the student using the program. And if they need to actually be reminded of the vocab they need to use, they can look at on their screen. If they have issues with reading that vocab, simply by putting their cursor over the words, it'll be read back to them.
Albert Einstein. Atomic. Einstein. Energy. Noun.
And so if I decide I want to use Albert Einstein, rather than going straight to my word prediction window, I can choose it straight from the word bank window.
Albert Einstein.
Then I can then I can use my word prediction window.
Thought.
So I can be using both windows. So it's additional support. So the word bank is a really good way of actually providing additional scaffolds. And if you remember, in that word bank, I can actually have it. So not only having all the words available, but perhaps I just want to have nouns, adjectives, or verbs available. And that just helps you target the support and the curriculum goals that you are setting for the students that you're working with. The topic dictionary is really nice having it available as a word bank because it actually helps students with their ideas for their writing, and it builds their vocab and also gives them some spelling support in advance as well. So if I just, I can close that word bank down just by pressing the X on the top right hand corner. Okay. Now if I go back and just look in my back into my preferences, just to go a bit deeper into that area, and if I go back to my topics, if I choose more topics,
category list,
you can see the list of topics that are available.
Topic dictionary list.
And there's a whole stack of them there, obviously 200.
Okay.
But sometimes I might want to actually choose my own topic dictionary. And say I was doing a topic on volcanoes, I could actually make my own topic dictionary. In this case, what I'll do is I'll just open up Internet Explorer. I've got a website here that I've been looking at about volcanoes. So what I'll do is I'll just take some of the vocab from that website, highlight it, copy that vocab, minimize my website. Okay. Go into my preferences here for co-writer, which I've got open, and for topics, choose create a topic. And here I might call this volcanoes and go OK. And now I take the text that I copied from the website, paste it in. So that's the text that I copied in. And then go create. And it's now created that word bank for volcanoes. And I just manage my topics, and I'll just find, it should be down in the back there, and there it is. That's the one that I've just managed, I've put in, so I'll just go close. And what I'll do now is I'll choose
topic dictionary
list. I'll go back to my topic dictionary list.
Shows the available topic dictionaries of the category on the left. Click the name.
And there it is, that's the one I just made. So I choose volcanoes and go OK. Now you see on my recent list, I now actually have volcanoes available. I won't click Albert Einstein because I'm not talking about that anymore, but we're writing on the topic of volcanoes. I'll now go back to my screen, and I might start with the word volcano, and there straight away, by putting the capital V in, I've got that topic dictionaries using the vocab, and there's the word volcanoes available.
Volcanoes.
Okay, let's go back into the preference button, and if I went to my word bank tab, I can see the words that actually I'm using in my new topic that I've developed for volcanoes. That's my list of words. Now, obviously, the more text I copied, the more vocab I could develop. If I go into my third tab, here I can see the dictionaries that it's using, and it goes back to your question about the first time you use it. You can actually add straight away the kind of words that you want the student to be able to access, and you can modify and look at the dictionaries that you're using. The default is it actually has available 3 dictionaries. It has Advanced Dictionary, which has about 40,000 words. It has the Intermediate Dictionary, which actually contains about 12,000 words. And the Beginning Dictionary has about 6,000 words. Sometimes you might use the Beginning Dictionary if you didn't want to actually overwhelm a student who was a struggling writer or an early writer with words they don't know, so you're actually providing them words that they actually are likely to use, right through to a more advanced dictionary, which is for those students who are more advanced and actually probably engaged in more rigorous kind of coursework, if you like. I can look at, there's actually more vocab I can choose. If I choose on more vocab, and here I can see a whole list of the different vocab lists I can use. If I go to main, I can see that there's a number of dictionaries I can use, and not only is it advanced, immediate, and beginning, but I've also got core basic, which is just 3,000, core, which is 1,000, or I can actually choose to have no dictionary at all. And so the guesses will only be drawn from a particular active topic dictionary or whatever personal words I put in for them, and nothing else. So you can actually modify you can scaffold the words that are available in their word prediction window. If I go back to go OK, if I go back to my list here, I can actually add, as well as I can actually add words. So if the student's name was Greg, so I can actually add the word Greg, so that next time when they're writing it into their personal dictionary and they write the word Greg, it will come up with when they start to write a capital G, for instance. So I add that. So now Greg's actually added to their dictionary. Hit the Save Changes and Return to Writing, the Preferences button. And now I can actually write, my name is Greg. My name. And this is already there on my list. And a capital G, R, and there it is there. And you notice it took three letters before I got the word Greg on my list, but the more I wrote that, the more it become available. If I wanted Greg to be higher on the list, I could have actually gone in, as I showed you before, and actually gone to the dictionaries and actually taken out the number of words that are available, so then Greg would have come up much earlier. But I've actually got a whole other words, and because I haven't written that sentence before, it was giving me words that it thought was actually more likely to be the correct fit. But I can choose Greg.
My name is Greg.
Okay. If I go back to my Preferences button, and one of the last things I can do is also change the way that my co-writer word prediction window looks. I can change the speech that I'm using. So currently I'm using Lucy, but I've got a number of other voices that are available to me, and whatever voices I actually have loaded on my computer. So actually Graham is a voice that comes with the program. I can change the rate, how fast it speaks. In terms of and I also can turn the speech off so that the speech active is turned off. That means that I won't get text-to-speech available. Or speech active, put it back on, means I do have text-to-speech available, which means not only do I get the speech when I'm actually hovering over in my word prediction window, but also in these settings, if I hover over, it will also read them to me as well. And if I go over here, let's turn it off. If I go over here, I can also change the way the window looks by the text size. I have the different available text sizes. And the background color of my window currently is green, with the foreground color of the text, which is black. If I actually choose, I put that speech active back on, if I choose more settings, here you can see that I've actually got more options that I can do. And the way that co-writer is set up, it's really nice. There's layers of complexity that you can go into to change the settings, but they're not immediately available. So it's not a daunting process. You can use it straight out of the box within minutes. But if you want to spend some time, you can delve deeper in and change a lot more settings. And if I just go back to the third tab across there for speech, you can see with speech active what it will do. It will actually speak the words simply by pointing the mouse or the arrows. And currently I've got speech descriptions turned off, but if I turn that on and go OK,
more
Speech active.
And you can see that it will actually
Change the size of text in the co-writer window.
It will even give me text-to-speech in the preferences window, so I can actually, it'll describe the settings and the descriptions of what I'm doing. And that's useful for those users who are actually using the program and also making their own adjustments to the settings as well. I'll just go back into there and turn it off because I don't want that to happen. I'll turn that off. And you've got a number of other, and I can actually have, now I've got more ability to do more changes to the voice. I can actually change the speed here, but also the volume. And I've also got the ability to change the pronunciation, so I can actually change the way that a word is pronounced as well. I'm just going to stop me there for a minute. There we go. Whoops. Just close down. I'm just having a bit of a problem here. Just hang with me. Okay. A question. If you had it on a sentence window, would it write the sentence in another window? if you had it on a sentence window, would it write the sentence in another window, then add it to the word once a full stop? Whichever window you have active, Word program, whichever window you actually have active. So if you've got the Word program active, that's the one that's going to work in. So wherever your cursor actually is in the text program, that's where it's going to actually put the full stop and add the words and so on. I hope that answers your question. I'll just show you working in different windows maybe. So what we'll do is I'll just go OK for the time, and I'll just return back to here. Let's open another window to we'll see. So I've got it currently in a Word document, but I actually might open up a internet page. I'll just get rid of it. This is the internet page where I can read and write in the page. Yeah, that's okay. What we can do is I'm happy to give you a phone call if you like after the session or some other stage if you've got questions that that is difficult to ask in this format, and we can clear them up. But here I've got I'm in an Internet Explorer page, and here I'm actually going to write, show you how I can go between. So currently I've actually been writing in this document. Now I'm going to go to my Internet Explorer page, and here I might be asking students to not only to write in an online form perhaps, but also have some of the information read. So I have a student who's actually struggling with the writing, but also with reading as well. Well, here I can actually, the student could actually highlight the instruction that they have to do for this particular exercise on this web page. They go to their right arrow on their word prediction window, and they hit the speak button, and the instruction will be read back to them.
Describe your setting, inclusion or self-contained classroom, etc. Writers and skill development areas you may target.
And then I can put my cursor in the area that's available for me to write my comment or answer in, and I can start to write my answer. And I'll write in I work in a classroom. I
went
work
in
a and classroom is already there.
Classroom. I work in a classroom.
And I can go back and just make sure that that's being produced correctly. Highlight what I've written in Co-Writer. Hit the speak button.
I work in a classroom.
And that's good. And I'm right to go. So, and that's because I'm writing in this, and I can quickly flick back to my Word document, and I can keep going in that document. And so I can go between, and the Co-Writer word prediction window follows me in whichever program I'm actually writing in. So I'm flicking between programs, and it's available wherever I am. Okay, well that's a very quick tour of the program. It's only taken us less than half an hour. There's no other major features in the program that you have. Just a couple. If I open up back to the preferences and go into the settings menu, settings, preferences, and go to more settings. If I go back to here, there's a couple of other ways. There's more features I've got. If I choose the display tab, at the moment I actually have it set up so that my word prediction window currently has 6 guesses. I have the ability to change the number of guesses that are available. I can choose up to 9 guesses in that column that's available, or as little as 1 or 0 guesses if I want to turn it off completely. I can also have it so that doesn't have numbers, or it has numbers on it, so that numbers are important in the word prediction window, because for those students you can actually, rather than click on the guess on the word prediction option, you can actually just click the corresponding number. I can have that turned off. I can actually have the number of guesses that are dynamic, they're in a fixed position, or I can actually have it so they're dynamic so that they're actually in the column, or I can have them as fixed so that the column stays in one position and doesn't actually move around as I type. Currently I've got it dynamic, which means it actually follows my cursor as I type. If I go into the prediction section, I can actually also have it to to support the scaffold I might have for a particular student, that in terms of flexible spelling, I've got it set up so that it just starts to help you with flexible spelling straight away. But I could actually choose that the student actually has to type 3 letters before it starts to get some support with flexible spelling, or I actually might turn off that flexible spelling support altogether and actually have to have exact spelling. I can also choose to do a number of things. I can actually have it so it predicts ahead, it repeats the guesses I'm doing, double space after a sentence. I have a number of other areas I can actually make some changes with. And as you saw, there was also the ways I could actually make the speech option available in terms of the way I can change the voice. One of the nice things in here is I can actually have it so that it actually not only speaks each word as I type and each letter, but for some students, for younger students, you might actually set up scaffolds that actually will speak each letter as I type as well. I'll turn it off. And I'll go OK. And I'll go back to my window, and there it is. So it's a program that really does, once you've turned it on, within, as we've just spent 30 minutes using the program, you really can come to grips with using the program, have the students up and going, and then as you more you delve into those options, you can be adding your own vocab and the levels of scaffolding that you want to provide. So I'll just turn it, and to simply to turn it off, you see I've turned on my PowerPoint presentation now, and actually it's followed through, because I might want to be adding somebody here in PowerPoint, and you can see it's actually following through with that. So whenever I go into any program and start to use a typing, a text feature, if I've got co-writers turned on, it's actually going to be there ready for me to use. To turn it off, I simply hit the X in the top right-hand corner, and the program's turned off. Okay. So if that's the end of this quick webinar. If there are, Lauren, if there are any questions you have. Yeah, the older versions, we used to actually have to, before version 6, you'd type in the window area down the bottom, and then you'd press enter or another button, and then it would send all that into the Word. So it actually were going between 2 documents. It was for some students, very cognitively challenging to actually do that between the 2 programs. With version 6, has much more of a universal design for learning feature, where what it's saying is it's available to be used in the program you're using, so you're not actually flipping between 2 programs. Okay, that's what you're asking before. Yeah, so it stays in the program, but you can actually turn those old features back on. It actually has the ability to go between 2 programs, but it's a very common feature now amongst literacy support software programs, where what they do is they're sitting there on top of your screen ready to be used in whatever program that you're working in. So if you've got students in a high school and everyone else in the high school is using a particular program, they're using the same program, not having to go between other programs. It's a program that's used in TAFE colleges and universities as well. So you're doing what everyone else is doing. It's a more inclusive program. You obviously know about our website and our email update system. That's just if you want to keep informed about as new updates become available and new information that Google will keep updated. This is just by joining our email update service. And that's my phone number. If you need any more information, or if you need to send me an email, that's my email address. So there's no other questions. If you think of any, please give me a ring or send me an email. And thanks a lot.